Hello, this is High Templar with my new Total War Warhammer DLC speculation video, and today we'll be talking about Bretonnia. So, when the game was first released and people noticed that there is already a multiplayer for the Bretonnian faction, they expected to Bretonnia to be next DLC, the first DLC or even the free DLC that we will get. And that was something that you would expect because it was easy. The army was already there. However, the roster was quite small and some people believed that you have to expand the roster. And that's not that easy because the Bretonnian roster is pretty narrow in the tabletop. But yeah, you can say that Creative Assembly is not expected to do everything as in tabletop. They don't have responsibility like that. Their deal with the Games Workshop is different, and that's true. They can make things on their own, and they did on occasion, but they do follow this pretty closely, and Bretonnia is very special. So, what does actually Bretonnia have? Will we get this DLC? Because there is already a few months past, and we've seen many DLCs. So like with the Beastmen, which would be much harder to make than the Bretonnia one, and haven't seen Bretonnia or any other faction that people would normally want to get. Human factions, easy to make factions like Kislev and others. So we didn't get it so far, and we might not have it at all. However, there are some possibilities of getting it because Bretonnia has many fans. There are lots of people who like to play Bretonnia and are very hyped for this faction. There are many mods that allow you to play Bretonnia already. And those mods are getting more and more expanded, getting more units. The Radius mod expands the army roster of Bretonnia in very large way, although not really lore friendly, but there it is. And there is also Wood Elf DLC that is coming shortly, and the Wood Elves are very connected to Bretonnia, so with this DLC we might get campaign for Bretonnia. It's possible. I'm not saying it's likely because I don't know. They are connected, that's true, and it's certainly possible. However, the Wood Elves DLC will already have a lot of content in it. Maybe it will be a free DLC connected to the DLC, like we've seen with the Grim and Grave and the free DLC that was the Vlad. However, I don't know, I just not sure about it. So let's talk about the campaign for Bretonnia. There won't be a mini campaign for sure because we already have the Bretonnia terrain pretty fragmented in the Grand Campaign map. We already have lots of duchies here, and if you would play it, you would have to fight for it. There is Mausoleum, which is held by vampires, and there is lots of those like Carcassonne and other places. And it's actually already quite interesting. If you've seen a mod and people playing as Bretonnia, they already have some interesting components to play because you already have some orcs here and Estalia here, and there are beastmen. There is beastmen hordes that are traversing those territories, so it's already quite interesting. And with the release of Wood Elves, it will be even more interesting. This is Atel Loren here, where the Wood Elves are at. And we probably will see new buildings, like obviously we will see very similar buildings to the other human factions, well, the Empire, but we will see the Grey Knights as a level 4 or 5 buildings in Empire, and the Pegasus probably level 4 building for recruitment of those, separate building for the peasants, separate building for the knights, probably separate building that will allow you to build Knights of the Grail and the Pegasus Knights. 2 different buildings that will allow you to build that. But also you'll have to have a Knights building, entire Knights building chain. And yeah, I mean, I would see Grail Knights as level 5 and Pegasus Knights are level 4, because Grail Knights are just these demigod-like beings, in truth. We would have to see at least another legendary lord. Now we have only King Luen Leonkel. And let's talk about this roster, let's talk about legendary lords and things we might get with it. Starting with Fae Enchantress, which is a legendary level character for the Bretonnia. She's a caster. And she would be a nice addition to the roster because we need to have more casters, basically. With the Wood Elves, we might have lore of life that will come, and would be nice to have, because the casters has more. The casters in tabletop Warhammer has much more options than in Total War Warhammer. Would nice to have lore of life available for Bretonnia, making it more playable. But though she will probably have lore of heaven only. Then we'll have the Green Knight, and this is extremely cool legendary level lord unit because this guy is ethereal. And he is connected to all the Old English ballads of the Green Knight. Very cool looking unit. Would be very cool to have him in the Total War Warhammer. Just imagine the legendary level lord that is ethereal in the combat. Like a Hex Rides, but you know, the lord, and you can have him in the Bretonnia. That would be extremely awesome. We might have him as a separate DLC because he's like the level of coolness of Vlad or the White Dwarf. So yeah, I would be very happy to see him. Very happy indeed. However, I don't think we'll have a separate free DLC for him because the Bretonnia kind of deserves their own free DLC, or maybe it will be DLC, I don't know. But if this DLC will be worth its price, it should contain this guy. Then we will have a Lord level character that is Prophetess of the Lady, that I don't think we will have. So she's your Lord level caster. But yeah, not seeing her really in the game. It's just we already have a damsel. We might have already seen her in the roster if the Creative Assembly wanted to put her in the roster, because you know, she's just basically an upgraded damsel. Then we have a very cool unit indeed. These are questing knights. These are the Knights of the Realm that have taken upon the quest and they want to become Grail Knights. Those guys are in the Radius mod. Those guys are actually stronger than the Grey Knights, which is so against the lore because Grey Knights are like demigod-like beings that have drank the water from the Grail and they become something more than humans. So those guys just want to be Grey Knights. They should be like 1200 worth of a unit, 60 men strong with two-handed weapons giving them armor piercing, and that is just big enough, basically. That's very cool. These are obviously melee units, not high charge, but very heavy punching unit. Then we have men at arms, and well, we already have men at arms, right? But in tabletop, men at arms can go with spears on halberds, but they also can get swords. And that unit would be not as strong as the swordmen for the Empire, because yeah, they are peasants, they don't have much of a training, and I don't think we will see them. As much as we would want to see questing knights, I don't think we will see men at arms with swords, because the Creative Assembly made this army in certain way, so they are not strong against infantry focused factions. They have to deal them with their Pegasus and their knights, and that makes sense. Same way as the Greenskins doesn't have really a good monster, anti-large units. They are weak against that, so those guys are weak against infantry. They have other ways to deal with it, yeah, but I don't think we'll see them, but it's possible. The sword infantry would be a cool addition. Then we have Errant Knights, and that's actually the same model as Knights of the Realm. Those guys are slightly cheaper, and I also don't think we will see them, because Mounted Yeomen and the Knights of the Realm are fitting the spots of Tier 1 and Tier 2 Cav units, and there is just no necessity for Knights Errants. Those guys are just young knights, and yeah, I don't see them happening here in the Total War Warhammer. And yeah, it's pretty much that. This is pretty much it about the roster. And for the campaign to work, we would have to have some new quest battles, but that shouldn't be a problem, because Bretonnia is all about, magic and questing and so on. The new legendary lords would be a nice addition, and this is very fairy tale like land. They are medieval style when the rest of the world moved to Renaissance. So no firearms and similar things, because it's not, knightly. They are having very nice mechanics in the tabletop with the vows, so you can basically pray for first single turn and then have some bonus, and that would be interesting thing to have in the game, because basically we already have something like that. With some of the lords you would get a constant boost that is map wide, so you get fire lord and you get a boost for the map wide for all the weakness, basically a hex weakness for the fire. Only if you get the metal level wizard, you can get +2 armor piercing. So we already have those map wide boosts, and this won't be that hard to implement. However, I would like to see how they would implement them in the Total War Warhammer. Would it be like a skills for the lords? Maybe that would be interesting, or like something we get through the quests, maybe, or the buildings wouldn't make sense. I'm just thinking, I want to be surprised. I think we will see that possibility of playing this campaign at some time, because of all the mods and all the fans, and the Creative Assembly would be blind not to notice that. But I just don't know how it will be done, and I'm pretty sure it will be done because all the factions have some very specific things that makes them very specific, like the WAG for the greenskins or the crumbling and such for vampires, and this is what makes Bretonnia special. So I would really like to see that. Not like 100% sure, but pretty sure it should be there. And yeah, that's pretty much it. I hope you like it. If you did, press like. If you want to comment, please leave a comment. And I also would like to recommend my other DLC speculation videos, my mechanics videos for Total War series, my Let's Plays for Total War series, but also Let's Plays for other games. Thank you for watching and see you later.